There were 6 games in the NBA on Tuesday, and very interesting things happened. We had no Joel Embiid. Again, we had blowouts all over the shop, lineups changing left, right, and center. We're going to talk about all of that action in today's show. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and Sam Decker is the pickup, and here is why. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free, we're available on all platforms, but we're also the number one sports podcast network. So we're number one? Yeah, we are. And thanks to you. And next, we're going to get to 100K. Let's do the subbing over here on YouTube. All right, it is a daily recap. We are talking about Tuesday's games. There were 6 of them. There was one ridiculously late game for whatever reason. I know what the reason is. It's just frustrating, but that's okay. That game, by the time I'm recording this, which is the start of the show, hasn't even started yet. I do the recap show in increments. That game has not even started, but all the others are basically done. So let's just start by getting into a little bit of news here to begin the show, and 2 main things to talk about. One of them is Joel Embiid's knees rooted? Because he was out today after experiencing soreness in his right knee, which is that's not the knee. That's not the knee with all the surgeries. That's the other one. So you go, oh, what's going on? And then we get the report today about it, and it came out just not long ago actually saying, no, there's actually no structural damage, and it's just day-to-day. Sixers, one of the worst injury reporting teams going around. They are terrible at it. They give obfuscating long terms in reports. They don't tell you the truth. I'll just go ahead and be a little skeptical on the no structural damage issue in Embiid's knee, just for now. And I'll also be a little skeptical on the day-to-day. So if you want a big takeaway right now, just grab Andre Drummond and hold it. And then when Embiid comes back, hold a little bit longer just to see what happens. Just because it's clearly Drummond over Boner now. Just to see what happens. So absolute must grab Andre Drummond. Now maybe Embiid comes back in 1 day today, or 2 day todays, or 3 day todays, or 70 day todays. I don't know. Neither do you. I'd like to err on the side of longer, because it's Joel Embiid, right? And there's always the worry. There's that one. We also got the update on Paul George, how they're getting a further final reevaluation at the end of the week and strengthening up his quad muscles. So he looks like he'll be back. Their last game is Friday, so I would say he's back at some point next week. Do you rush to grab Paul George if somehow he's on the waiver wire? I think it's going to be very rocky early on, to be honest, and I think it could be just a really troubling hold through the early portion of the season. One of the reasons why I have some skepticism, well, not why I have skepticism about the Sixers and Embiid in his knee. Well, this is a bad cross line here, but let's talk about it. I have skepticism about the Sixers and their reporting on Joel Embiid's knee because they have done this in the past, right? And there is plenty of track record of this. That takes us to Nico Harrison getting fired. How, you might ask? Well, he's been fired. We know that. And then we got the report from old mate Shams today, which suggested, as I suggested back 9 months ago when the trade happened, that it wasn't Nico Harrison's idea by himself, that Jason Kidd was a part of it. And Shams came out today and said the exact same thing. He said, yeah, they all knew. Jason Kidd knew about it. And it was so obvious to tell. You could tell the way that Jason Kidd handled the aftermath. He wouldn't say Luka's name in a press conference. He said, I sent him a text. But he said, I gave Maxi Kleber a call and we had a big chat about okay, bro, really? After the game. No hugs between those two. It was very obvious to me that Kidd was a part of it. Because, all you have to do is look at Jason Kidd's entire history of playing in the NBA, but more importantly, coaching and being a front office guy, where he wants him to be the focal point. He wants to be the guy in charge of everything. I say this to bring it up, is the idea of firing Nico Harrison from the ownership, because it was obviously an untenable scenario for every home game with all that noise. And he's terrible at his job. Shout out to Nico Harrison telling us that Drew Holiday and Nikola Jokic are the same player, or on the same level as player, same tier. Yeah, so like he obviously was horrible and needed to go, but yeah, ownership was in on it, like, and they need a scapegoat for it. But I will remind Dallas fans, and I will remind them about the vibes and things around the team, is that Jason Kidd was a part of it, and Jason Kidd wanted that to happen, right? So it's not an immediate vibes change now. He was in on it. He was a part of it. He was to be the very most generous to Kidd. He was not strongly against it. Put it that way. So that happened. And that confirmation, again, just makes me think this is not, the only problem is out. Now, I don't know what they do with Kidd, because obviously he signed this long contract extension, so I don't know that fixes all the problems, but it will at least, and for the majority of people in the crowd, it will at least reduce some of those tensions. And I guess that's probably just a W in itself. Let's talk waiver wire trends, who's been added and who's been dropped over the last 48 hours, who are the number ones, number twos, number threes, number fours. Who's number one on the list of the most added player? It is Jaylon Tyson, which is unlucky because he suffered a concussion. He's going to be out now. It would have been a great opportunity for him tomorrow. So if you added him, you can probably slot him into IL plus, IR, whatever you want to call it. It is frustrating, though, with Garland going down and Tyson going down the same day. And it is actually possible now that Garland comes back before Tyson, which is annoying. But, okay, makes sense. Adding Brandon Williams, complete sense. Great move. Do it. We were always searching for point guards. Adding Ace Bailey, made sense. He started. He looked okay. And we'll talk about his game later. It's not going to be that good, but it makes sense. You add him. Adding Little Chungus, I don't really know what happened there. Like, why is he still the number one added player? Like, are you doing it for tomorrow for 12 games on? Like, I don't get adding Nikola Jovic here. And then adding Jay Huff is, we'll talk about that one as well. We'll talk about the Pacers and what they do, but like to be the fifth most added player is a little weird to me. The most dropped list, in fact, the most jacked list. Have you ever been on the list for most jackings? It is a goal to aspire to.
Get that garbage out of here!
Number one was the national tile, Jarrus Walker. Hello! Well, he got benched today, so as much as he's horrible and he is bad, I thought there'd at least be volume in it, but nope. The second most dropped player, Noah Clowney. So I think that we'll see his name pop back on the other list, and I would add him. Terrence Mann, totally cool. D'Angelo Russell, bye-bye. And rugged Ronnie Holland II. And not only do the Pistons still have everyone out tomorrow, Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, Tobias Harris, but now Cade Cunningham is questionable. He was probable, now he's questionable, and Jalen Duren is probable. So actually, it's a big chance for Holland to have a big game tomorrow. But I understand why you would do it after he got in foul trouble in that first one. And that is sometimes the way things go in fantasy basketball leagues. Before we get in and recap these games, I might just tell you that today's episode is brought to you by the big fellas over at FanDuel. The NBA season is in full swing. We know this. And it's great. FanDuel is here to give you like what you want. It's the best place to get that action in on the NBA. Even if you miss the start of a game on FanDuel, you can jump in and you can place live bets. You can place live bets on who's going to score next. You can place bets on fourth quarter comebacks and blowouts and how the spread looks. And you can even combine your live bets into a same game parlay, which will increase your payout. And you'll want to increase your payout. And right now, FanDuel is also giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So go to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. And don't forget to gamble responsibly. Today's episode is also brought to you by Built. Nobody likes paying rent, but if you must, you might as well get something for it, and that's where Built comes in. Built is joining the game. Not joining the game, it's changing the game, in fact. That's not the right word. Changing the game by turning your rent payment into real rewards that you can actually use. So when you pay rent through Built, you earn flexible points that can be redeemed towards hundreds of hotels and airlines, a future rent payment, your next Lyft ride, and more. But Built isn't just about rent. It's about rewarding you around your entire neighborhood. Turn your rent into rewards and start earning points around your neighborhood by going to joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba. That is joinbuilt.com/lockedonnba. Make sure to use that link that they know that we sent you. Just type in JOI and it should autofill into your Google search bar. Maybe. All right, we're here to talk about games. Let's go into the first game of the day. My Toronto Raptors traveled down to take on the Brooklyn Nets 119-109. Jakob Poeltl was back. Ochai Agbaji not only went to the bench, but he was out with a back issue as well. And this was an absolute... now, again, You're playing Brooklyn, so we know this. But it's one of those ones where I know, because I saw it all through the Basketball Monster player comments. I saw it with people tweeting at me, Jakob Poeltl's trash. He's washed. Drop him. How do you have 0-0 in one quarter of play? Well, you do it, and then you end up with 12 and 10 with 1 steal, 2 blocks in 30 minutes of action. Right? It is, and I know that there is an undeniable urge that people have with their fantasy teams is to just watch the stats, watch what's happening. Why is this guy not doing anything? What's happening? Why is it not happening? But in general, an overreaction to something good, an overreaction to something bad in the first quarter or the second quarter, you're better off just being like, I hope it gets better. Well, let's see. And that's what happened with Poeltl. And the things that I always want to take away, like, did he get into foul trouble with 2 fouls in 4 minutes? No. Did he play really low minutes in general? No, he played 30. That's a season high. Did he end up with a double-double? Did he block shots? And did he shoot efficiently? Yes, yes, yes. Is he all the way back? Not necessarily. But if you had the idea he's only going to be playing 24 a night, he can't do anything anymore. Again, this is against Brooklyn. But all you need is one game like this to go, all right, well, I guess it's the chances of just going back to normal are there. That's all you need. If they're just constantly keeping it 24 minutes, you go, bro, what is this? If he's constantly going at 45% shooting, you go, come on, man, like, are you actually just done? All you need is, not an 83% is obviously not a sustainable shooting number. Not the point. I'm not expecting him to be an 83% guy. What you do look at is go 30 minutes, 2 blocks, no foul trouble. The days off for the back may have helped, and we're in a better spot than we were. Same with Emmanuel Quickly, who really struggled early in the season, but now he's actually flying. 24, 8 and 5 with 2 steals on great shooting. And Scotland Barnes didn't hit a 3, but didn't actually take that many shots. Only 9 in general. 15, 11 and 5 steal and a block. Not his best game, but he's been really, really good to start the season. And then we have Rowan Barrett, Rowan Barrett has been very good this season. I would tell you that 13, 4 and 6 on 21 shot attempts is the opposite of that, with no threes or defensive stats. He's been great. This was terrible. And we give him a pass. Even though he is Canadian, but we do give him a pass. Not much else going on here. Murray Boyles played his 20 minutes. There's no clear path to big minutes coming for him. Jamal Shed added 5 assists off the bench, and that's probably about it. Oh, we got 20 minutes of Dick. Not much going on with that, though. Yeah, not much of it to talk about there on the Dick side of things. Let's look at the Brooklyn portion of this game. They went in with the same starting lineup, and honestly, without any sense of irony, Nic Claxton has got to be up there in the discussion for most improved player. What is going on with this man? 21, 8 and 4, 2 steals and 2 blocks. He hits free throws now? I know that most improved player is probably Jalen Duren, but what is this man doing, Nic Claxton? No chance in a million years that I think Claxton was anywhere near this. He has been ridiculously good. And kudos to him. Just an out-of-pocket, out-of-nowhere fantasy resurgence. Well done. Didn't have it at all. What I have said for a long time, though, is the guy starting next to him. For 3 years now. He's incredibly young, this guy. I said, I like Noah Clowney. I like a few little things about him. I like the profile of a somewhat scoring, 3-point shooting, rebounding, shot blocking big man. And then, of course, in year 2, he just couldn't hit any shots whatsoever, apart from free throws. Never blocked a shot at all. Okay, that's disappointing. Let's see where it goes now. And then he got the starting job here, and they are going with it. And I said, okay, let's take a crack. Let's add and see where we go, because there's still some exciting stuff, even if the blocks aren't quite there. And then he had a couple of really good games, but the last game was bad, and as we said, everyone dropped him. Well, Clowney came out. Again, maybe I'll give the same caveat. You're playing the Raptors, so it's pretty easy to beat up on them. 35 minutes for Noah Clowney, 18 points. Awesome. 2 threes. Let's go. 8 rebounds. Oh, we've never been more back. 2 steals and 2 blocks. Vince McMahon in the meme chair falling over. Just with I'm doing it, there's 100% less sexual assault allegations. That is 4 blocks from Noah Clowney in the last 2 games. Am I saying that he's now a blocks demon? No, I'm not. But these are the things that he had coming out of Alabama. These are the things that he showed in the G League and at the end of his first season. And that package together is bloody good for fantasy. So, I would add Noah Clowney. Yes, I did add Noah Clowney. And like I said to you after the Nets last game, I'm stubborn on Noah Clowney. I added him. I like the role that's still there, so I'm holding him. All right, and that is what you do. In this case, I think. He could disappear at any point. But that commitment to him starting at the moment and the renewed defensive part, I'm intrigued. By the way, he's younger than Danny Wolf by a couple of months. Jaeger Jolman, speaking of rookies, 28 minutes for him. 16, 4, and 5, steal and a block. And this is just a perfectly good line. Hit free throw. His free throws, 46% from the field. He had hit threes. He had steal. He had assists. It's just good right across the board. And the dearth of starting caliber type point guards, it's real. So, add Yeoman. I do not believe that he will hold at this rate, but every start, he just looks a little bit better. And that's what you need. That's the indication there. Terrence Mann. He had 9, 3, and 4. There was an outside shot that maybe he would be something different, but he is literally just the same. While Tyrese Martin, who was starting games, is barely but 0 points in 14 minutes, and Ziaire Williams was dreadful, missed all 8 of his shots with 2 threes. Also for deeper leagues, for the double Onyxers out there, Drake Powell played 22 minutes. He had another 2 steals. He had 3 assists. He hit 2 threes. He's been really good actually. If you're in a deeper league, a 200-player league, you should be looking at Powell because he's getting 22 minutes off the bench and he's shooting well and a 3s and steals, 3 and D type specialist guy at the moment. Could turn into more, but at the moment, that's what he's doing. Let's go to the Memphis Grizzlies and whatever nonsense is going on over there. They went to take on the New York Knicks. They trotted out the same starting lineup. It does seem that Zach Edey is returning soon, so I'll just keep impressing this upon you. Just add Zach Edey if he's available. He won't be great immediately, I don't think, but he's got to be added. Now, we talked about Cedric Coward. He's been such a weird player. He came in and played these minutes and hit like 80% of his shots. And you go, oh, well, that won't stick. And then it didn't stick. And like he shot 30% here. And then he got some defensive stats and then they just disappeared for like a week and a half. And then his minutes went up and his usage was better. Okay, he's just doing little bits. And today, the shooting just gone. 11 points, no threes, 30%. But 2 steals and 2 blocks. The defense is back. He's just doing little bits and pieces. Now, putting all of it together, high usage, good efficiency, defensive stats, that's what a superstar does. And he's not that. But for now, he's maintaining a spot on a roster, even though there's been a few little ups and downs. It hasn't been the same case for Ja Morant. In fact, it's nearly all been downs. 16 points on 29%. 10 assists is good, and his assists are through the roof at the moment. But this man cannot hit a shot. And it wasn't even his threes, because he actually got them back to a normal level here. He just went 25% on 2s. It's very easy to say that he's not trying, and he's trying to... But... Is he missing on purpose? I know he's like, nah, man, I can't drive to the rim because I get no foul calls, and then you tell me that if I do that, it gets me injured. Yeah, because like it did, but like, so now what are you doing? Just trying to miss on purpose? To just be good? I fear, and I was sort of high on Morant this season, and the fear that I have from a personal perspective on it is he going to be a bust, not through being injured, and not through like, quarter-pointed issues? Is he just going to be a bust because he's just a bad player now? And it is honestly feeling that way. I still think that him and Jaren are buy lows, but man, the value is it's in the toilet, man. Jaren had 19, 6, and 3 with 2 threes. Shot well, didn't get a block, but it's not a bad game from him at all. Well, Aldama got 30 minutes. And I can't trust Santi Aldama at all. He shot 80%. Good for him. 19 and 7. To me, he's just someone I'm just never going to feel confident with at all. Because I don't think he's shown consistency. And he's still coming off the bench, but he played good minutes. But what happens when Edey's there, it's all going to be an impact. KCP looks like washed. 4 points in 15 minutes, while it was actually a good game finally from Jalen Wells. 18, 3, and 4 with 2 steals. This is the sort of stuff that when I said, hey, let's take a flyer on Wells at the end of drafts, he's one of those guys who's got an opportunity, second year step up. Maybe we see more aggression, more usage, and it just has been honestly horrible to start the season. I don't know that this is a turning point. I'm definitely not rushing to add him, but I will watch the next game. Like, is he backed at 29 minutes? Is he going to be more aggressive with the shot versus sitting there and having 7 points? This is more encouraging. And then Vince Williams also, 14, 9, and 6, who started the season dreadfully also. And he's looking better. We're only considering him in like 200-player deep leagues at the moment, Vince Williams. But again, encouraging stuff. I just wish that you could get something encouraging out of Ja Morant. The encouraging thing I'll say about Morant is, again, the assists are absolutely through the roof. Like, he's just getting 1 million assists at the moment. Just nothing else. On the Knicks side, Mitch Robinson was out, so it does appear that Mike Brown has a very specific thing that he does. Robinson's out, Landry Shamet starts, and we don't care. Tomorrow, Robinson will be back. Shamet will go back to the bench. Shamet played 21 minutes and had 10 points. Who cares? What I do care about here is that Josh Hart hit 30 minutes. And when I talked about Josh Hart, he's been really poor this season, and I faded the hell out of him in draft season, obviously. And I said, if he starts getting 30 minutes, then I'm back in business as a top 100 guy. And he got it. It's a very Josh Hart line. 29% shooting is bad, but like 8, 4, and 8 with 2 steals. You should feel much higher level of confidence in Josh Hart now that he is hitting 30 minutes. He's not going to hit 38 minutes, but this should be able to put him in that 80 to 100 area of where he was likely drafted. Brunson was great, 32 and 10 with 6 threes, while Towns had 23, 13, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Good numbers all across the board. And Bridges and Anunoby did their thing. Like, there's not a lot to really yap about with that Knicks team at the moment. We've got 4 more games to talk about. We'll get to those very, very soon. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by the guys over at Mint Mobile. Yes, with Mint Mobile. If you're still overpaying for wireless, well, it is time for you to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. So you can say yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for just $15 a month. Mint makes it simple. All the plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your own phone and keep your same number and contacts. If you're ready to say yes to saying no, make the switch at mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. That is mintmobile.com/LockedOnNBA. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. All right, next game, Golden State and Oklahoma City. This was pretty ugly, and this is, I believe, the Warriors' 6th consecutive road loss as they get smashed 126-102. And we all know the Thunder are not at full strength at all, like not even close to being at full strength, which is concerning. The Warriors, with Steph back, they started him. They kept Quinton Post starting and moved Brandon Podziemski to the bench. Let's start with Podziemski, 21 minutes only. He did have some foul trouble, but 10, 4, and 1 with 3 steals and 2 threes. He's a hard one to me because in a bench role, don't care, not interested. But he starts half the games. And even then, like in some of those starts, he's good, and in some of them, he's okay. To me, if you're in a 130 player league, I don't think you bother with it. If you're in a 150, a traditional 12 teamer, he's there. But I'm very certain if he's your worst player, you will get more value from streaming that spot. Very certain of that. But that's got to be that specific case. It's good to see that John Kuminga looked better, but still 24 minutes, blowout, but 13, 3, and 4. And Jim Butler had 12, 3, and 2 with 3 steals. Draymond after the game said, when Jimmy arrived last season, we're all committed to winning, and I don't think we are now. Oh, okay, thanks, Draymond. What does that mean? Where are we going now? As for Steph, yeah. I'm joking, but he was bad in this one. He had extreme foul trouble. I think he had 5 fouls before the start of the fourth quarter. He played just 20 minutes for 11 points. His first game back after illness, it was just bad. Like, he has been on a pretty poor run over the last couple of weeks, and the illness is a part of that. And I'm very certain that he will bounce back. While Draymond, 22 minutes, 3 points. He had 4 assists, but I think nearly everything from this game can be thrown out. I don't believe there is any reason for Moses Moody to be considered in 10 or 12, so 130 or 150 player leagues, I don't think. 20 minutes, 10 points, 2 threes. Unless we get multiple injuries, I just don't see where the role is. And that is key to so much of what we do. Let's talk Thunder, because they still had their guys out. No Bronco, no Aaron Wiggins, no Lou Dort. They're all still out. Now, Chet had 23 and 11 in 25 minutes. Shea had 25, 5 and 11 with 3 steals in 28 minutes. AJ Mitchell played 31 minutes. I will, pay attention to that with AJ, that he played a lot in the fourth quarter where it was basically garbage time and Chet and Shea didn't play at all. So that bumped his playing time. And you know me with AJ, right? I think he's really good. But when eventually they have players back, and there are 3 rotation players out at the moment, he just won't play enough, I don't think. He might be their 6th man, but it just won't be quite enough, I don't think, to be considered must roster. But he has been, because everyone's been out to start the season. Hartenstein, the sell high really cooked him here. 8 and 7 in 20 minutes for him. He still shot well, but big drop off. And then the Hong Kong mattress. Case and Wallace, also on the sell high show. 3 points, 21 minutes, no steals, 2 assists. I'm basically there. I just need one more poor game to get me there. I think before I fully jack.
Get that garbage out of here!
He's a steals merchant. His ranking gets fluffed through 0.9 turnovers and 1 steal, or 2 steals a game. That's it. And when you don't get the steals, it's unusable trash. I love Case and Wallace as a player. I think he's going to be really good, and I'll continue to say this. But the situation, the environment is not conducive to him putting up those numbers. I believe if you are in a 12-team format and you need to say, hey, do I try out Ace Bailey here? Do I have a crack at Noah Clowney? What do I do with Andre Drummond? And your presumed worst player is Casey Wallace. I'd do it. I would absolutely do it. Unless the entire hinge of my fantasy strategy is on steals. But what else are you getting? The answer is nothing. Like, you're getting nothing. Alex Caruso did the steals thing, 5 steals in 15 minutes, and now we'll see. Do they play Holmgren and Caruso tomorrow in the back-to-back? We'll find out. The next game saw the Boston Celtics and the Philadelphia 76ers take on each other, because that's what they do. 102-100, Philadelphia wins it. Let's start with someone we do have to talk about here, and I didn't think we'd be talking about Jordan Walsh, but we are. Started the second half over Josh Minor, only 8 points. Now, he is not an offensive player. He is not a good shooter. He's worked on his game, but he's not good at that. He is an energy sort of guy. 7 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I don't think that you run to add him in 12-team formats. I would consider it in 170-player leagues, 14-teamers. I would definitely do it in 200-player leagues. But what I think we sort of know now for Sneaky Joe Mazzulla is that he is just going to mix and match continually. We are just going to see things jump up because they put Josh Minor into the starting lineup. He had some really good games. Since he started, they've been good. But the minutes go all over the place. And he played 8 minutes here. And I know you've been waiting for it. Josh Minor.
Get that garbage out of here.
Yeah. Not because I don't think that he's got the potential to be a good fantasy player, because I do. But we saw it at the start of the year. Barely played. Came in. Really good games. And that's, again, was it wrong for people to spend $800 of their $1,000 fab on it? Always. At the time, it was incredibly wrong. Was it wrong to add him? No, I don't believe it was, because you look to the situations, well, hey, this makes them look better with him starting. He's getting good minutes. He's producing. He's got a great fantasy skill set where he hits threes, he gets rebounds, he gets steals, he gets blocks. Let's see. Let's do it. And then the minutes just never got there again. And now, I don't know whether Walsh starts or not, but too much inconsistency. Bye-bye, Josh Minor. Drop him in 10s, drop him in 12s. In 14s, it's debatable, but I get why you'd want to do it. I get it. The next question is going to be, what do I do with Peyton Pritchard? Now, one of you will be in the chat right now, chatting away. I'm dropping him. Dropping this bum. Can't play. Wasted a pick. Dropping him. It's you're right. You can do that. I would not. And I'll tell you why this is. And we had him on the Buy Low show a week ago. It was bad, right? It was bad. 5, 3, and 3. That's not good. He has not been strong at all this season. But realistically, the things that we looked at for Pritchard and why I was high on him this season, I think he's playing more minutes. Check. He's doing it. Like 3 to 4 extra minutes a game. I think he's getting more usage. Check. Doing it. What I didn't look at as strongly as I should have, and this was a mistake, is I didn't drop his 3-point percentage down because there's a factor that often happens with guys who take on a larger role that their shooting percentages usually fall. Now, I knocked it a little bit, but definitely not enough. Because I didn't think that he'd have that big a role. And he honestly doesn't. It's like 21 usage up from 18. It's not gigantic. The focus is Derek White. The focus is Jaylen Brown. I mean, they lost those other good players, obviously. But he's still not the number 1 or number 2 guy. He just can't hit anything. His 3-point percentage is just disgraceful. It's 25%. It's 25% on open catch and shoots. Why? What reason? Literally no explanation. Open catch and shoots has got nothing to do with the pressure the opponents are putting on it because you're an open player on a catch and shoot. He's a 40+% shooter on those. There's no real explanation for it, which is why I'm like, don't drop him. Just get back to 37% from 3, and everything else is basically in line. The usage is there. The minutes are there. The assists, yeah, you could do a little bit more, but basically what we wanted from him was, can you get us over 3 threes a game? Get us 16 to 18, 19 points? Cool. Do it. He just hasn't. And again, no real explanation. If you look at what Pritchard is doing at the moment and go, he's trash, I got to get rid of him, then you also have to say this out loud to yourself in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and be like, I think Peyton Pritchard is a 25% 3-point shooter. Because that's what's happening. And that is, I look at everything about his numbers. I go, what is it? He's just hitting 15 percentage points lower on threes. Okay. Surely that'll bounce back. I don't know when. But I really have skepticism. It's the reverse Vooch. I have skepticism that he's going to remain a 25% shooter. That's just me though. All right? I've got extreme skepticism that he will be that bad. So I will hold him. And it will look bad until it corrects. But it's not that he's getting benched. It's not that his minutes are down. It's not that he's got no usage. He just can't hit threes for whatever reason. And I don't know what that reason is. Slightly better game from Simons. He scored well, but more importantly, he got 5 assists, and he has not been doing that. He was still horribly inefficient, 33%, and he played 26 minutes. I don't think that he is a must-roster player in 10 or 12 team formats because his minutes are low, and they're lower than even I thought they would be. What else is happening here? Derek White, again, like, he is the one that's really copying the I am the number one option at times now and cannot deal with the pressure. 35% shooting. Now, the volume was huge. 18, 5, and 7 and 2 blocks. It's hardly something to complain about, but he cannot get clean looks. His 2-pointers are down. Like, that's the thing with Pritchard. His 2-pointers are fine. He just can't hit open threes. White just can't hit anything. So I've got faith that White will be better, but like Pritchard, like, I don't know if it'll go back to past seasons. And Jaylen Brown had 24, 6, and 5, and finally, for once, he didn't take the most shots on the team, which has been a bit of a thing for him. Bit of a thing. Let's go on to the Sixers side of this game. Same lineup for them. No Embiid. So Andre Drummond started, and the switch between Andre Drummond and Adem Bona is complete for now. 33 minutes for Drummond, 15 for Bona. So the risk is that when Embiid comes back, Bona just doesn't play. For now, Drummond is the guy you want. Now, they've got a light schedule. They barely play. But still, given who it is, given that it's Embiid, I'd just like to have the Drummond insurance. And I did not, for a single second, think that Drummond was going to be playing ahead of Bona this season. 14 and 13 with a block for Drummo, while Bona had his 2 blocks. He's a stream for that, but he just can't do anything else. This is also one of these games where you just go, oh yeah, sure, Justin Edwards scored 22 points, whatever. Like, all right, no worries. Out of nowhere, 89% shooting. Let's just chalk it up. He's been bad nearly all season. He came out of nowhere and saved the team, and we go, congratulations to you, my guy. I don't think we'll worry about it. Quentin Grimes, the minutes continue to push back, which is somewhat of a concern. We are still holding, though, obviously, 18, 6, and 4. And then Tyrese Maxey had probably his worst game of the season, 21 points on 29%, but he added 9 assists. Oubre had the big game at the end, 12 and 7, or the game winner at the end. Not much else going on there. But we do want to talk, I'm sure, about the dominatrix, VJ Edgecombe. He's not playing 40 minutes anymore, so we thought that might come down, and it did. He's at 35 here. But he is in a horrific slump. 18% shooting, 6 points, 2 threes, 2 blocks. We are... I think I've said this, but we will need to have a conversation very soon about whether he is right to hold. Rookies usually are horribly inefficient, and unless they're doing something with big rebounds or big assists or a steals merchant or something, they can be pretty hard to roster. And with VJ's usage coming down, efficiency in the toilet, it's getting a little hard to have that decision on him. He's like not even a top 140 guy over the last 2 weeks. So I know it's easy to be blinded by what happened at the start of the season, but I think we need to start looking at VJ, who there were like, again, there's always so many comical things that happen at the start of the season. Oh my God, new Edwards is here. Okay, we'll see. Maybe, but like the downturn or just maybe a regression to what is normally expected from a rookie guard, just hit straight away. It's just hit it already. It's done. He can easily be better than this. We've seen it. But we know that run was a high level of unsustainability. And we said it, even in that first game. We go, bro, I did not think that him and Maxey were going to combine for 50 shots, which is an exaggeration, but also not really. So for now, it's a hold. Trent Watford, not good. One good start, you love it. You go, oh, look at these guys. These guys are out. Watford flashed some interesting stuff. They went with him. We chase after it. 7 points, 21 minutes, 30% shooting. Happy to move on. No problem. This is what we do. This is what we stream for. This is what we try. Hey, what if it hits? And one of the key questions you always ask is, did it come on stuff that was completely unsustainable, like shooting? Or does the pathway to minutes make no sense? And to me, the pathway to minutes made sense in the short term. It was never going to be a long-term thing because George would return. And that appears like that's going to coincide now. So if you want to move off, move off. The other guy is Jared McCain. Like, surely no one is like 0.7 minutes. He's going to do more at some point, but he's so far off it that we don't have to worry about it really in any sort of setting at this point. What about the next one? Indiana and Utah. Just the Jazz casually dropping 152 points. And they win 152 to 128 against the Pacers. And the Pacers, Siakam returned. That meant that Jarrus Walker moved to the bench. Aaron Nesmith returned, so Ben Shepherd moved to the bench. But that's not all, guys. We had changes in the front court. A starting front court now of Tony Bradley and Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, who signed his second 10-day. And that meant that Jay Huff and Isaiah Jackson went to the bench. Should we start with Isaiah Jackson, who had a trip to the locker room at the start of the game, ended up in foul trouble, but still somehow played 23 minutes, got a double-double with a steal? You look at it and go, well, he got benched. Well, he barely played early. But that's still good enough. The problem here is he had that one game playing 29 minutes, and every other game is 21 or 22. He gets jerked around. I do not think that Isaiah Jackson is a must-roster player. If you're in a points league, there's 150 players rostered, you definitely do not need to roster Isaiah Jackson. If you're in a category league and you're 130 players, you do not need to roster Isaiah Jackson. If you're in a 12-team, 150-player league, you probably don't. There's just too much uncertainty with it. And then Huff, who was one of the most added players after he had that really good game in replacing Pascal Siakam, had 3 points in 11 minutes. He did have 2 blocks, but really? So I think given the way that these centers are sort of shaping up, it's impossible to feel any level of confidence. Like Jeremiah Robinson-Earl had played 30 minutes the game before, has 6, 4, and 3 in 22 minutes, and has 4 games left on his contract. And then they have to decide whether they want to waive someone to bring him in because he can't sign more than 2 10 days. So, I don't know. Nesmith, still shooting inefficiently, but 17, 4, and 7, probably on a roster. And Siakam, 27, 5, and 4, and amazingly was good at both percentages. And that has been a problem for him. Nembhard had 25, he had 7 assists, he shot the ball well. Good to see him shoot the ball well. It's just good that he's back, mainly. And we also got the return of Timothy John McConnell, who played 11 minutes and took 12 shots. It's a lot of shots, man. He also had 12 points in that time, but 42 usage is outrageous, and he had 0 steals and 1 assist. Now, a lot of people are asking whether TJ McConnell's a must-roster player. It's a loaded term. Is TJ McConnell an okay guy to look at in a standard 12-team format? Sure. Is he going to start? Almost no way. Is he going to play 30 minutes? Almost no way. Is he even going to get to 22 minutes in the next 2 weeks? Probably not. Because he's old, they're playing for nothing, and he had a hamstring injury. Can he be someone that gets you 6 assists and 2 steals with 10 points on 58% shooting? Maybe. Is that a must? It's very much up in the air whether it remains a must. Is he someone to grab to see where it goes? Sure. But if this playing time scenario stays like this, well, it won't be worth holding. Monty Morris had 2 points in 12 minutes. He had 3 assists. He also blocked 1 shot and shot 1 of 5 from the field. And then the National Tile had 11 points, and guess what he did? Moving to the bench, pressure's off, worst defenders, 13% shooting, bro. This guy, I don't like to say this about young players. I think he's done. I don't think he's an NBA player. He had 2 steals and a block, so good for him, and somehow hit 9 free throws. But I don't think he's a player at all. I was skeptical of him as a prospect coming in. And he has shown me exactly 0 instances of me being wrong so far, I think. I just don't think he's good. And you should... Well, let's do a bit of a Jack Fest. All the boys come around.
Get that garbage out of here!
That's for you, Jarrus Walker. What about for you, Isaiah Jackson?
Get that garbage out of here!
Jay Huff?
Get that garbage out of here!
Who else needs a jacking? No, we keep Nembhard, we keep Siakam, we keep Nesmith. McConnell's a barely keep. No one else gets a jack, unfortunately for them. I'm sure they'd love it. What about the Utah Jazz, the explosive offense that is the Utah Jazz? They started the same lineup, and that meant that Eris Bailey was in that starting group. He played just 26 minutes, and they did have Isaiah Collier in there at the end, so that's something to watch, although he came in for the garbage time portion at the end. But Bailey had 20 points. He had 4 rebounds, he had 1 assist with 4 threes. It's one of the ones we look at and go, ooh, hang on, 20 points. See? He's great. That is good. That is very good. Part of the problem for Ace Bailey in category formats is, bro, are you going to do anything else? And the answer so far is not really. Like, he hit 4 threes. He hit him at, his total was 54% shooting. Great. But 1 assist, 0 steals, 0 blocks. That was the problem at Rutgers. And yes, we roster him. But if they're going to mix and match Isaiah Collier and Ace Bailey and he's playing 25 minutes, he won't hit value. I'm very certain he won't hit value in 25 minutes. 30? Yeah. 25? Don't think so. But it's a rookie. Let's add him. Let's roll it to Thanksgiving, perhaps, and see what happens over this time. But if it stays in a minute share like this, then we're in trouble. Yusuf Nurkic played 27 minutes. So that's a better start, and he hit 4 free throws out of 4. Unbelievable stuff. 10, 5, and not 10, 5, 7. 11, 11, and 4 is one of the... I misspoke completely. I'm so sorry. I was reading Keontae George's percentage. We'll get to that in a sec. Nurkic, 31 minutes. 11, 11, 4 assists. 5 of 6 from the line. 50% from the field. Are we back? We're not, but that's definitely enough to be a 12-team guy. As for George, after I said I think the breakout might be really as 10 points on 25% and plays 27 minutes, but he did have 7 assists and he was 100% from the line. That's okay, a blip. It was a big game from Isaiah Collier. He had 14 with 6 rebounds and 11 assists. And he shot 83%. It's hard. It's hard for me to trust Collier in a bench role with his lack of shooting, but the assist is fantastic. I view that more as I need assist, let's look at him. And if he was a 30-minute starting point guard, I'd be more enthusiastic about him, but he's not. So he's borderline to me. Mihailuk had 20 points with 3 threes, and Markkanen was very good in his role. Anything else, really? Kyle Filipowski, 16 and 7, but in only 20 minutes, it's not really going to move many needles for me. And Bryce Sensabaugh got back into the rotation with Hendricks and Anderson out. He had 16 points with 4 threes and 2 steals, and unfortunately, it doesn't appear like Bryce is just going to be doing enough to register for most of us. But the thing there is, like, Collier, interesting. Bailey, intriguing. But I'm going to need to, with his lack of multi-categorical production, I'm going to need to see more from him and to secure it long term. But we add, we hold, and then we just see where it goes. Got one game to go. The Denver Nuggets and the Sacramento Kings. The Nuggets win at 122-108. Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon sat out the last game. They moved back in, so Jalen Pickett and Peyton Watson went to the bench. Let's take a look at the big fella, Big Chungus, Nikola Jokic. Just a 35, 15, and 7 with 2 steals. 84% shooting, nothing super special there. But he was bad at free throws, so, terrible. The Headmaster dropped 23, 3, and 8, while Christian Brown is, I guess, one of the first sort of question marks we have here. 30 minutes, 12 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Now, he shot 57%, but we are at a stage here where I honestly don't care.
Get that garbage out of here!
Yeah, Brownie, I'll see you later, my guy. He relies on high field goal percentage to really do anything, and he's not doing anything. In a points league, I wouldn't worry about it, honestly. In any sort of 150-player points league, there's no point in rostering him. And in a category league, if you want to drop him, I don't think it hurts you. If you really fluff field goal percentage, right, then he will be useful. And he was useful here, but that's it. Like, it's one category. It's Cason Wallace with steals. What about the other guy? There is almost no choice now.
Get that garbage out of here!
Cam Johnson, that's you, my guy. 5 points, 22 minutes, 2 rebounds, 33% shooting. I was down on him, not far enough. It was very clear he's a worse player than Michael Porter to me. It did obviously open up cap space to do other things, but like he was never a 1-for-1 replacement, and it's pretty obvious now, I think, and I think you can feel very good about moving on. One of the guys they did bring in with that extra money was Bruce Brown, who was better than Cam Johnson. 14 and 7 with 2 steals and 2 threes. Brown is not up to the zone where we need to consider rostering him in anything that's not like a 200-player deep league, but he was really good here. And Aaron Gordon, just solid, 17 and 7. Not much else on that side of the game, I don't think. So we might as well go over to the Sacramento side of the thing. And I don't know, I've got a few things to say. I've got a couple of things to get off my chest. Like, I don't know, I guess, am I one of the people you see the hate? Am I one of the haters? Am I one of the fakers? Should I keep that energy? Yeah, Doug Christie, I will. You're terrible. Your coaching's bad. Your front office bad. Your owner's the worst in the league, and you're a disgraceful franchise, and the fans deserve better. Do you want me to keep going next game as well? Because I will. The Kings lose once again. Precious Achiuwa starts once more over Russell Westbrook. And Dennis Schroeder was always a terrible decision to bring in. Now, people say when I like criticize Russ, which I don't really criticize him as harsh as probably I could, but like, oh yeah, you don't think Russ is staying in the club? I don't really. But I don't think Dennis Schroeder is either. I don't understand, and you can go back and look at all of my shows that I did in the preseason talking about this team. They make no sense. They don't know what they are doing. The players don't fit together. The front office doesn't know what they are doing in terms of setting these guys up for success. Now, as for Russ, once his minutes dropped last game, we talked about, let's hold and see what happens. Let's see what the role is. And the role, outside of 25% shooting, 31 minutes, 14, 8, and 11 is good enough and perfect from the line. Hold him for now. It is going to be rocky because this team makes no sense. Dennis Schroeder makes no sense. He was scoreless in 21 minutes. He had 3 assists. And by the way, The pattern of Dennis Schroeder starting out well, playing 5-6 good games, and then being terrible later on, it's basically undefeated.
Get that garbage out of here.
Why would you even bother with this guy? I did not target him in any drafts. The only appeal he had was, starting point guard. But what is this? It's crap. Levine, after his red-hot start to the season, he has been hijacked. And this is, when we talk about the fit, and we talk about Russ, and go, well, Russ still had 14 and 11. Like, yeah, but he takes away from every other player because he Russifies the entire court when he's on there. So Levine becomes useless, 12-4-3. Sabonis played 26 minutes only, 19-8-4, which is better than last time, but it's still not good. DeRozan, 18-1-2. Look at this. Their assist numbers, which drove so much of them, made no sense when it was just those three together. Ed Westbrook, it makes it way worse. None of the players fit together. None of the players made sense of their ADPs for fantasy, and it is all playing out. Malik Monk, he was better, but do we need to roster him? 12 points in 28 minutes? None of the players fit together. Let's continue to say that. They don't fit together. If you want to drop Monk, I get it. As for Achua, he played 18 minutes, he had 6 points. We shouldn't have, hopefully no one added him, but I'm looking at the advanced numbers on Basketball Monster, and he's up to 13%. Why? What are we doing? Not a 10, not a 12, not a 14-team league guy.
Get that garbage out of here.
And they refused to play Keon Ellis. 3 points, 14 minutes. He did have 2 blocks, but unless multiple players are either flat out benched or traded, he's not playing enough.
Get that garbage out of here.
I think that's a rant on that. Is that okay for you, Doug? Was the energy kept high enough for the haters and the fakers? Probably. Shall we look at the monstrous line of the night and all the other associated lines of the night? Yes, we should, because the monstrous does go to the fella in that last game. It is Big Chungus Nikola Jokic, who did it there with the wrong screen up. Maybe the haters will remove that. 35 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals for Jokic. The young gun of the night is also the same player as the waiver wire line of the night, and it just came out of nowhere. Justin Edwards dropped 22 points on 9 shots. He had 5 threes, and we can largely ignore this. He has been bad in nearly every game that he's played this season. He doesn't play this role normally. He doesn't shoot this well. Just largely ignore it, except for the fact that he gets anointed with a couple of awards. And the dud of the night, you'll be very, very surprised to know that we're going back to the last game, but was it Cam Johnson or was it Dennis Schroeder? Because they're both terrible. In fact, I do give it to Dennis Schroeder. All he registered was 3 assists. He was bad. His minutes were cut. Do they bench him and start Russ next game? Whatever it is, it's still going to be bad, and the team is still going to suck, and that is my talk on that. Doug Christie. That is the recap from Tuesday. There were 6 games on. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you, as Mavericks fans, heal from the removal of Nico Harrison. I hope the Kings fans can heal from the removal of Vivek Ranadive, which obviously can't fire himself. And I hope that something happens there. And then the Pelicans. The next one up is you, Bill Green. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.